All right, there are still some people kind of trickling in, but I'll go ahead and get started, and others can join as it goes on. So good morning. Welcome to the ATG presentation of the Autodesk Flex token system. My name is Dane Batson. I'm the Director of Customer Success here at ATG. My co-host today will be Rebecca Hunt. She is a manager for one of our customer success teams. Today we'll be going through the Autodesk Flex system, which is set to launch on Friday. The agenda for today is just run through the overall definition of what the Flex token system is, what its intention is, what it's there for. We'll run through a few use cases, who would be the prime targets for this Flex system. We'll look at the comparisons between the subscription system and the Flex token system. Then we'll hit on pricing and kind of what that looks like to users and consumers of the tokens. And then we'll end with a Q&A session. I do want to remind everyone that the Q&A section should be there as we run through the webinar. Please go ahead and any questions that you have to go ahead and type in that box. Rebecca will kind of be my moderator for that as we go through this. She'll be tracking some of those questions. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A session. If we don't address those questions in this presentation, please type them in there, and hopefully Rebecca can get to those and we can get those answered. But as we go through this, I'll encourage you to please reach out to your ATG rep, your ATG CSR, and we can answer any questions moving forward that we do not address today. But once again, welcome to those who arrived a little bit late. We'll go ahead and get started. So what is the Autodesk Flex system? It is a flexible product purchasing solution that allows users to access software without a standard term commitment. It's very much intended to be pay as you go. Autodesk has been very clear over the past couple of years that they are, obviously moving away from that maintenance model that has already happened. And then in the past year and a half, the transition away from multi-user to standalone single user has been very deliberate as well. So they're very much moving to a single user subscription-based model. For most users and anyone in the Autodesk world has expressed kind of that limitation it puts on some customers as far as the purchasing options. So Flex is a direct response to that, and the tokens are a response to that kind of limitation. It's meant to be a second kind of purchase point for those who believe that they do not need a full subscription. They're not willing to pay for the full collection or subscription throughout the full year or 3-year commitment. And that's what Flex is there for. Once again, Flex is the name of the product. The tokens are the system kind of measurement and usage that we'll run through today. So what is Flex trying to solve? What challenges? One, as I kind of just said, you do not want to spend money on a subscription when users only need access a few times a week. We'll go through some future slides as far as what an occasional user versus a frequent user means and what Autodesk kind of how they define that. But what Flex is trying to do is to say, okay, you have the ability here to purchase these tokens and only pay for what you need or for what you use, and then re-up if you need to at the end of that, versus being locked into a subscription for a full year or 3 years without really knowing the need of how often you'll need to use that. The second thing it's trying to fix is the amount of admin time spent on assigning new users and adding new users. Those of us who have been in those user portals and have seen customers with several users know that can be a real pain, can be a real hassle. It can be incredibly time consuming to have that admin time spent on assigning users, reassigning users, changing them from that single user login. Flex is meant to be an easy kind of system to adjust, limit who can use the tokens, assign tokens as needed, and let multiple users use that product without having to spend a lot of time on admin stuff, changing those names, etc. Autodesk has told us that the reporting system should be more robust when it comes to what you'll be able to see with Flex and what you'll be able to see as far as usage goes, and that will be able to be side by side with your subscription. So hopefully that will help that kind of the admin time spent when it comes to assigning users. The third challenge is you're interested in just trying a new product. If you are interested, that point of entry, cost of entry currently for a new subscription or a new collection can be a bit high for some users. So this limits the risk of trying a new process or trying something new in a design process, and it allows you to say, I'm going to buy these certain tokens for this product and use it without the risk and the commitment of feeling like you're having to be stuck with something for, as I said, a year or a 3-year term, like you would be on the subscription basis. Kind of just reiterating what those top features are. It's for varying users and product needs. Occasional users, we'll go through what that means by occasional, but specialized product use. Almost all products are available at a daily rate. There's a full list that Autodesk has put out there that you can run through with ATG, but any product you want to try is available. There really are no limits as far as what you can purchase with a token. So if you want to try a different product, in a new process, that's available to you. And then that reporting feature for subscriptions should be, as I said, kind of more robust and should allow you to track the usage next to this token system. So that all those three combined is really what we're trying to find with this Flex system and what we're trying to use, and really look at usage over time, and then hopefully save you some money in the long road, but also see usage features and how many users are in these products at a time. So just kind of a simple comparison here between the subscription system, which you might currently be on or you're going to transition to, and the Flex system. Once again, subscription is intended for frequent users. Those frequent users are considered someone who is in there 2+ days a week. So your standard, that's their role, 8 to 5. Or plus, they're a frequent user. Occasional users are anybody less than that, and that would be a Flex system. There is a bit of difference in the term for subscription versus Flex. The subs are available on an annual or a 3-year term, as you're well aware of. Flex is only available on a 1-year term currently. If you use those tokens within that 1 year, then you would just re-up and go buy more tokens. If you get to the end of that year and you have not used those tokens, they do expire and you would have to purchase more. There's no kind of rollover period or anything like that. It is just set to a 1-year period for you to use those Flex tokens. Products, obviously, for a subscription, you can buy them to specific products or the collection. Flex, you can buy tokens to a specific software product to access a wide range there. The plans are the same. There's a standard plan and the premium plan. The premium plan obviously is available for 50 seats plus, and the premium feature obviously offers a little bit more reporting and usage features than standard. Standard is a place of entry, though, if you just buy Flex. You do not have to buy just a subscription and Flex. If you just buy Flex tokens, you will still get the standard benefits of the token system. So that's kind of how they're the same plans, a little bit different when it comes to how to enter the market with the plans. Flex is intended to be a very simple kind of purchase usage system. Obviously, the first step is to buy the tokens. You would do that as you would a normal subscription through ATG. Once you buy those tokens, you can do it through obviously the PO process, the quote process, or payment through ATG as you would do for a normal subscription set. You would get a notification similar to the way you would for a subscription of that those tokens are now available to you in your Autodesk account. Then you would be able to go in, assign those users to those products or limit those users to products. You do have the availability to do both. And then obviously you can track that spending and track that usage. So once again, intended to be a very simple point of entry. Very simple, especially working with ATG and trying to get that done. There's a bit of a difference in backend process for ATG, but that has nothing to do when it comes to users, customers of ATG. As far as your purchase options, it's meant to be very simple, very easy and direct, and be in your account within the day. So this is where we get into kind of use cases for who's a good fit for Flex. Autodesk has provided kind of a rudimentary type of measure, and I encourage users and customers to once again have conversations with ATG, with your sales rep, with your CSR, and really dig into usage data and see see what works best for you. But from a rudimentary kind of standard, Autodesk is saying 2+ days a week. They probably need to actually have a subscription to that. If you are using it more than 2+ days a week, you're probably going to run out of tokens too quick, and the cost is going to be greater to buy more tokens over time versus just having that subscription for the full year or 3 years. If a user is accessing a product less than 2 days a week, so 1 day a week, then Flex might be their best option because they're not going to run out of those tokens. They're not going to burn through the tokens that quickly. So that might be the best option for users. Once again, simple kind of rudimentary type of metric to compare and say, this is what I would use for these tokens. But that's the basic kind of starting point to where those conversations would start. We really kind of broke it down into 3 other categories. Obviously, any user is capable of using the tokens if you feel it's best, but we kind of broke it down into 3 separate categories to look at for what type of users to target. If you're thinking about purchasing Flex, who might be a good fit for that? Obviously, the multi-user access over the past 1.5 years has been a transition for many, good or bad. If you will be making that switch, it'd be a great time to look at that token price. And if you are going to be over the limit as far as that 2-for-1 and you have too many users, then maybe you could take a look and say, okay, this many users I have who do not need full subscriptions, I can use this Flex token system to cover that delta and say they're only going to be in there 1 or 2 days, maybe a week, if a month, I'll limit that and say I can still make the switch, save a little bit of money with this Flex token system, but they can still have access to the same products I would have them have if I made that switch. And then if you're hesitant about taking that trade-in, if you've been waiting for the year and you're still kind of waiting to see where you stand with the trade-in, this might be that jumping point to say, okay, this makes sense for me now, is from a cost standpoint of saying I can still do the trade-in, use the Flex tokens to fix that delta and still hopefully save some money in the long run, but track usage that you're concerned about if you had the 2-for-1 before. Interns are another great category for the Flex token system. They might not be long-term hires. They might just be there for a summer, or they might just be there for 1 day a week throughout the school year, whatever it might be. Interns might be a great asset and a great kind of user to look at this Flex token system and say, I can assign multiple users, multiple interns to different products, whether they're going to try that or not. And that long-term commitment is not there. So, another category is interns. That might be a good use case for this. Third, and probably most important, and what I think a main intention between Autodesk kind of options for this would be a new design process or a specific project usage. So if you have a new process you're going to start, if you have a new project that you're not just fully aware of the commitment that you're going to be making, whether it be you're in AutoCAD or Revit and you're using another product on the side, you can buy these tokens for that specific project or for a specific time and say, I don't have that commitment right now, but if I can use the Flex tokens, track the usage, see how much I did use it throughout this project lifecycle, then it might be a benefit to say, in the next year or so, I'll purchase more of these subscriptions or collections because I do use this as time goes on. So those are really 3 main categories. But once again, as this process gets rolled out, as this gets used more, there will be some better metrics to kind of track and say, okay, usage for this category was better, or usage for this category was less. So work with your sales rep, track those, look at those, see what's available, and really, we can pinpoint and try and get better at who the best users are for this token system. Now, obviously the important part, pricing. Pricing is obviously crucial to if this is a benefit to you as a user or customer, or if it's not. The minimum purchase is 500 tokens. Tokens are sold in packs. It goes in levels of 500, so 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, all the way up. It keeps going depending on what your usage rate is. That minimum purchase entry point is $1,500 for that 500 tokens. So a little bit of a difference from, obviously you can see the collections, a major difference, but then even from a standard subscription, it's a bit cheaper for some of these rates. The largest purchase option currently is 50,000 tokens. Will that change in the future? We don't know. We'll wait on guidance on that. But you can purchase anything from like 500 to 50,000. depending on your usage and what you're kind of tracking to and what you're looking for. The box at the bottom is kind of a just simple setup of how to look at it. AutoCAD would be 7 tokens, Revit's 10 tokens, and that is in a 24-hour period. So token usage, I think, as I kind of said earlier, is based on a 24-hour period of usage. So if you have a user who logged into AutoCAD at 8 a.m., user used it till 10 a.m., logged back out, came back in at 5 p.m. till 10 p.m., that would be considered that 24-hour period. In that 24 hours, you would be charged 7 tokens. So from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. the next day, that's that 24-hour period. Now, if you had a user who came in, used 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, logged out, came in on Wednesday, used it from 8 to 5 again, that would be 14 tokens, 7 tokens for Tuesday, 7 tokens for Wednesday. It's kind of the breakdown of how that works, but it's based in 24-hour increments of what you're going to be able to see and how you would track that. So once again, the minimum purchase is that $1,500 point of entry for the 500 tokens. And it continues to go up from there. But once again, they are sold in packs when it comes to pricing. So really, once again, it's meant to be kind of a very simple second buy option for users if you're not willing to or not wanting to commit to that full subscription package. Kind of next steps would be obviously work with your ATG sales rep or CSR. Look into your current contract dates, insights, and look at seat counts and usage. Unfortunately, we cannot prorate flex licenses, flex tokens, sorry, to align with a certain date. So, we at ATG have tried over the past several years to make it as easy as possible to get renewals, new purchases aligned with a certain date so it's not confusing when it comes to dates and times. Flex does not give us that option. Flex is meant to be purchased as is at any time. So really the only thing we can do when it comes to a purchase standpoint of trying to get aligned with dates is to remember those renewal dates and purchase on that date to get aligned, but it will not be aligned with a contract number or a set date as you would see in a normal portal. It will be kind of a separate entity that sits on the side of those subscriptions, but you still will be able to see it and track it. But unfortunately, we cannot do any kind of prorating or aligning. So it's going to definitely take some conversations with your CSR and sales rep to see what we can do as far as that goes. Something else that we would love to do and hopefully help out with kind of the admin part is to list ATG as a secondary admin to help with tracking. If we can do that, we will be able to see your token tracking, hopefully help out when it comes to notifications and settings and see what we can do to help that and alleviate some of that pressure and burden of what that means to track those tokens for you. Autodesk has provided kind of a great token estimator that you can use and you can use with ATG. You can enter users, time spent, and it'll give you kind of an estimate of you should purchase this many tokens or you only need this many tokens to kind of to work with that many users. So kind of these two things in tandem when it comes to seat count and usage and that token estimator, working with your rep and CSR would help make this purchase kind of an easier decision, or if not an easier decision, a better decision when it comes to usage and tracking. So the next step we're going to do is kind of run through some of the basic Q&As. And I'm going to let Rebecca kind of kick that off and run with the common questions and hopefully answer any questions that you guys have pinged to the Q&A chat. So Rebecca.
All right. Hi, everybody. So lots of questions going on. So let's go through some of the big ones. So on my screen right now, how long can you use purchase tokens? Like Dane was saying, it is 1 year from the purchase date, so not a calendar year. It's not a January 1st kind of a thing. It's when you purchase them, you got 1 year to use them, and it's a use it or lose it policy. So if you don't use them, you will unfortunately use them or lose them. And again, you cannot prorate those into existing subscriptions. I know we like to keep everything clean. The best I can suggest for that, like Dane said, which is to work with your ATG rep or CSR, see when your upcoming subscriptions are, and maybe we can align those as best we can. But again, we can't, merge contracts or anything like that. This is going to be its own little system. How am I charged for product usage? So this is coming on a lot in the Q&A section of it's whenever you open the product, your time starts right then for 24 hours. So let's say that I opened it today at 8 a.m. I'm using it till 5. I close the system down. I open it again at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Great, I'm still within my 24 hours. But if I go over into 8:30, you just use an extra day of tokens because you're over that 24-hour period. So now you just use an additional 7. Let's stick with the AutoCAD numbers. You just use an additional 7 tokens because you just ran 30 minutes over your 24-hour period from whenever you initially opened it. Again, I hope that's not too big of an issue though, since this should be for your very, they don't use it very frequently. Users, I wouldn't see them using it 2 days in a row, maybe that, but not 3 or anything. So do be careful of that. Keep an eye on whenever you first opened it because you will be charged extra if you go over that time frame. There is a 5-minute error window. If you do open up the wrong software, you just accidentally opened it and you didn't mean to, you do have 5 minutes to shut it down before you get charged again. So do be mindful of that. Restricting access to products on Flex. I got that a lot in the Q&A section. So you can restrict access to users or products. So you can either open it up to where all of your users have access, all of your users have access to all the products too, or let's contain it a little bit. Only certain users have access to only certain products. So then hopefully you're not doing what we said earlier of opening the incorrect product or keeping it open for longer because they didn't realize that they were in it. So you can restrict that if you need to kind of keep everybody under control. Will you be notified when tokens are running low? You will be notified. Let's say I try to open something today, I would be notified that it's low and the admin would also be notified. So the user will be notified, your admin's notified. Your admin is also going to get the email from Autodesk whenever they're running low. So, do expect that from Autodesk directly. They're the ones who are going to be sending that over to let you know that you're running a little low. And if you do try to open a software and you guys are out of Flex tokens, again, it'll just give you an error saying, hey, you're out. Please contact your admin to purchase some more. So I'm seeing a lot of questions about the different products. I know we said that most products are included. I will say that BIM 360 is not included. AutoCAD Lite is not included, it looks like on the list. And for AutoCAD, what I thought was a little funky was that AutoCAD looks like it's for the basic AutoCAD, not the specialized tool set. So it's either 7 for AutoCAD or 7 for AutoCAD Architecture, 7 for AutoCAD Electrical, and so on. So you will need to know which discipline you want to be in for AutoCAD to use that. But other than that, it does look like most products are in use for the Flex system. Let me see. And again, you can't track the user, or everything can be tracked by user. So there's going to be a lot more reporting on the user using it and what product they're actually using, like the usage of the product within itself. If you have standard versus premium plans, you do, if you have premium, you'll get the premium benefits. If you have standard, or let's say you don't even have a subscription with Autodesk right now, you're just trying to try this stuff out, you still do get the standard benefits that most subscription users do receive. And I'm thinking that's all of them. Everything else is kind of repeating questions. Oh, a warning. So we did ask Autodesk if they were going to give a warning that, hey, you're getting close to your 24-hour period. At the time, they had not developed anything, but I think that since we brought the question up, they kind of took it to the developer. So I'm hopeful that once this is all released, they would have some sort of a warning signal that you're getting close to your 24-hour period. So I would be careful. The latest information I've heard is that they did not have that available, but they are working on it, I do believe. And you do get to use all different versions in it. I think it's, if you get to use Revit, you get to use multiple versions. It's not going to limit your versions or anything like that. But other than that, I think that's most of the Q&A section.
Great. I think the other one, you might have said this, Rebecca, but will I be notified when my tokens are running low? I'm not sure of what that limit is of when they're going to notify, like how low. Is it 25 tokens left? Is it 100 tokens left? I'm not sure what that limit will be, but hopefully, this rolls out on Friday. We'll probably get a little bit more guidance from Autodesk by Friday. But as this is a new system and kind of a new rollout, I'm sure there'll be some information come out in the next few weeks. I'm sure if you talk to your rep or CSR, we'll have some back-end data that kind of helps us as far as the processing goes. Any kind of information you might have regarding questions, then please let us know. But Rebecca, you think that's covered most of them?
I think so.
Cool.
I think so.
Great. Once again, Flex is meant to be just, a very simple kind of process, pay as you go, secondary option to the subscription change. As we've seen, from Autodesk for the past couple of years, they've made very intentional changes to the pricing and model options. to where we're going to be stuck with that, single user subscription. So this is that secondary option when it comes to say, I can go buy tokens as needed, whether I use them or not. And as time goes on, you'll be able to assess whether that usage is correct or wrong. And then, as I kind of said earlier, Autodesk has promised a more robust kind of dashboard when it comes to looking at usage, tracking it when flex versus subscription comes through, and being able to see if it's worth the cost, worth the price, or if it's not. But it's certainly going to be a rollout as all things go. We're all going to learn together, and I encourage all users, customers to work with ATG and your reps and CSRs, and we're more than happy to take time and have these conversations, look at usage, and see where we're headed, and see if this is a good feature for you to use. But if that's all the questions, I think hopefully we addressed that and addressed your needs and really ran through what the Flex token system is. Hopefully you guys are a little more educated on what's out there and what the available options are. But I strongly encourage you to reach out to your rep, reach out to your CSR, and let us know what's available. Once again, this begins on Friday for purchase and how to start. But if there are any other questions that we did not answer, I apologize. And please reach out to us and let us know what we can do and figure out. But I certainly appreciate everyone's time today. Hopefully this was educational to you guys as far as the Flex system goes, and it can be a great use to you and benefit as you move forward. So Rebecca, thank you. Appreciate everyone's time today, and have a good rest of your Wednesday.